Hey guys, in this tutorial I'm gonna actually redo one of my previous tutorials, which is how to enhance a six-pack in Photoshop. And the reason for this is that, first of all, the first tutorial that I did wasn't really recorded that well, and I spoke very unclearly in it. So I'm hoping this one will go better. Let's try and see what we're gonna produce. So I'll turn these layers on right here, or this group, and this is what it'll look like afterwards. If you think that's too extreme, you can skip the step of enlarging the actual muscles like this, and you can see this is quite a dramatic difference anyways. So let's get started. First of all, create two new layers and set them to soft light. I'm not going to name the layers right now because just for the sake of time, but set the blending mode to soft light and get a brush, and you want to make sure it's a really soft brush and that your foreground color is set to black, so press D to do that, and then zoom in really far and start painting in the shadows of the abs right here. So that's basically just the bottom part here, and as you can see right now my opacity is set to 50 just so that I can have greater leverage with my fill or the opacity of the layer over here. Alright, so I filled in the shadows now, and as you can see it looks crap. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over here into the opacity slider and just crank it all the way down, you know, around 17, 12, around those low two-digit numbers. I'm actually going to take it to 12 just because I like this to be subtle. As you can see, this is before we did any of these things, and this is after. So it's subtle, but it definitely makes a difference. And we're gonna go ahead and tweak it a bit later. So now you want to switch your foreground color to white. Do this by pressing X, and then you just want to do the opposite of this. Now you want to enhance all the highlights. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how we can tweak this to customize it for every single app. Okay, so now I'm back, and as you can see I painted in the highlights. I just did it really quickly just so I could get back to this tutorial, but you get the point here of how you just look at where the light is originally and you just enhance that. You could actually go ahead and paint the entire app except for the shadowy areas, and it does make a good results in some cases, but that's just up to the case. In this case it doesn't. So let's go ahead and reduce the opacity of this one as well, and I really find that the highlights don't need to go as low as the shadows, but as you can see over here it doesn't really look that good, and just down here. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to add a layer mask, and on this layer mask we're going to paint again with a 50% opacity, just so, because we don't want to hide it completely, we just want to fade it in right here. So just go like that, and we can also get it right up here and down here so we don't have that really sharp edge. And I'm actually going to go ahead and paint it back in up here because I liked it better when it was visible. So I'm just using my the numbers here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 5 and 4, yeah, all the numbers right here to change the opacity on my brush up here. So we're just going to fade all these things in, maybe just give it a little nudge up here, and then we can do the same thing on the shadow layer mask, but I don't really think it's necessary. Perhaps we just want to do it down here, just fade that in so it's not as dramatic. Does it look like something's wrong with the stomach? We don't want that. So now we've done our dodging and burning, or shadow and highlight enhancing. So we'll make a group for that. I'll just call it DNG. And as you can see, this is a huge difference already. Now what we want to do to make the very last and final touch is we want to actually take each individual muscle and physically make it bigger with the liquify filter. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to get a lasso tool, so press L for the lasso tool and zoom in, and let's just take this app right here and just draw around it to select it. And as you can see up in the toolbar right up in the top left corner of Photoshop, I have a feather of 2 pixels. Now it'll of course depend on the size of your image, but I generally recommend having a little bit of feather on just so it doesn't get sharp and disgusting edges. So now press Ctrl or Command C to copy it, make a new layer and paste it right on there by pressing Command or Ctrl V. Then go to Filter and Liquify. And in the Liquify filter right here, we want to get the bloat tool and we want to make it just a tiny bit bigger than our muscle here, and you can use the bracket keys and then press a couple of times to make it bigger. Now you've seen how I've done it. I'm just going to pause the video, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to show you the final result. Okay, so now I've gone ahead and done all the abs, and as you can see when I turn this layer on and off, I've also just done some tweaking to some of the abs in their shape, because naturally when you develop a six-pack it's not going to be totally equal on both sides just because your body's not symmetrical. So if you wish to have it look even and equal, you can go ahead and do that in the Liquify filter as well. So let's go ahead and look at the before and after pictures. This is before and this is after. Now it looks all monster like now, so if you don't like that, you can either not go ahead and enlarge the abs individually, or you can just go ahead and do it a bit less than I've done here. So this is what it would look like without the abs being enlarged, but with the dodging and burning on. This is before and this is after with the dodging and burning. So you can see the difference here and you get the technique. You can do this for a lot of things. Just use your imagination. If you like this, make sure to rate, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next tutorial. Bye.